Okay, we're going to be trying to troubleshoot a short that seems to be blowing a fuse when engaging the wiper motor. The key parts we're looking for here, let's see if I can get this on video, is this wiper switch. And as you can see, this wiper switch at point B, which is the battery, which is where the fuse is going through, goes through the switch, goes through terminal I on this module, which then has a capacitor C1, goes down to E, which is the ground. So, since the only time the switch seems to, the fuse seems to blow, even with the motor, both motors, both the washer motor and the wiper motor disengage, is when the switch is depressed. So my theory is perhaps the fellow who's having the problem has a shorted capacitor C1, which would mean when he presses the switch, B goes through the switch, through the I terminal on the module. This diode isolates the rest of the circuit. Well, it depends on which way the current's flowing. Anyway, through C1, back to earth, boom, blow the switch. A capacitor should just appear as a very momentary short, and it should instantly charge up and then not be a short anymore. That's kind of the way they work, as they charge. A current will flow through it initially, but not enough to blow a fuse, and it'll only flow through it until both the plates are fully charged. Now, to demonstrate this, I've already marked this module. I is that terminal, and E, I hope you can see those. I and E, okay? I got that based on looking at this, the factory service manual. I is the bottom middle terminal. E is the first terminal. Bottom middle, first terminal. Now, we'll use the old school volt ohm meter here. I'll try to demonstrate what a capacitor does. First, I'll put it. This is really hard to do with just one hand. Hold on. Okay. I think I can do this one-handed. Okay, I've got the E. I'm not shorting across there. I'm going to touch the I. Now watch the meter. I've got it set at R100. This is how a capacitor usually presents, a normal capacitor. So you can see the needle. It should swing and then come back. Come back. Okay? If we reverse the direction, you see the same thing. It'll swing, come back. That's as a capacitor. So what's happening is current is initially flowing through it in the resistance check mode, and then I'm just reversing the polarity of these so you can check it both ways. And then as the capacitor charges, it stops passing current and goes to zero. Now, I'm going to suggest to the person who's having the problem, they do a similar test. Now, they probably don't have one of these. And I don't like using the digital multimeters. They get weird readings sometimes, and I just don't like them. So, if you don't have a nice analog meter, and if it's shorted as badly as I think it is, you should be able to use a test light. Okay, so all I've done here is hooked up a little 9-volt battery. I'm running it through a test light. If the capacitor here is shorted, then this light will glow when you hook it up. That would essentially blow the fuse. Okay, so I'll hook it up, and what I'll do is I'll touch the lead. I know this is really, like I said, it's really hard to do one-handed. Just make sure your electrical connections are correct. It glows. So it glows when I touch there. Does it glow when I touch the other terminal? No, it does not. I'm touching the E terminal now, and it's not glowing. So the reason it's not glowing is this light takes enough current to actually to go through the circuit to glow. That capacitor is charging up so quickly and passing so little current that it's not going to show up on this. But if you had a hard short enough to actually blow a fuse, my guess is when you touch this terminal here, it would glow just like that. So that's my recommended test, since he probably doesn't have one of these kind of analog meters. is get your test circuit, hook it up to a battery where, you know, one of the batteries hooked up to the tail end of the test light. The other terminal goes to one of the on the relay, and then you complete the circuit. And again, just test it by testing the one terminal here. Glows. So if this is shorted, it'll glow, and it clearly doesn't. Anyway, that's going to be my recommended test, and hopefully it's that short that I'm seeing right here. Again, flows from the battery, which would be through the fuse, through the momentary switch, down here, through C1, which is a capacitor, to ground. If that capacitor is dead shorted, it would blow the fuse. If it's not dead shorted, then there's some other issue, but we can at least, you know, try to work out what it is. But I mean, that would be where I'd go to if you don't think the wiring harness is defective. And he also mentioned that the module wasn't working right. I mean, the intermittent wasn't working right, the high-low wasn't working right. So if it's not working right, that's also kind of an indicator that there may be some kind of an issue. So that would be my recommendation.